It's your best friend Bethany, and today I'm going to be talking about something that's a little bit more serious, new in my life, personal, and that's going to be my decision to stop drinking alcohol. Sorry if this lighting is atrocious. I usually try to film during the day when there's better natural light, but I had a lot of stuff to get done today with my work with some clients, and I just wanted to make sure I actually filmed this video this week. I wanted to get this out there. I put a poll on my Instagram to see if you guys would be interested in this kind of video. I also want to do a disclaimer first and say I am not an expert in mental health, physical health, in handling addiction. Of course, if you do have an addiction to alcohol or another substance, I am not your expert on this. I also am not coming from a place of addiction, but a place of seeing the negative effects of alcohol in my life and looking at how I want my life to be, and taking the time during this quarantine to really reflect on what I want for myself. And in the past year in general, I've really been trying to look at what makes me happy in life, what makes me sad in life, what things build me up and what things take me down. So this video is going to be split in half with the benefits I found personally of stopping drinking alcohol, and then some tips and tricks for how you can go from being someone who is a social drinker to being someone who doesn't drink alcohol. I do want to say that I'm not sure if this is going to be something permanent, but at least it's going to be permanent for the foreseeable future. Before we hop right into it, definitely make sure you leave a comment down below if you like these kind of videos, if you want to hear a little bit more about different things I've done to try to build my health physically and mentally, switching over to a plant-based diet, or building up to running a half marathon on my birthday this year. If you want to see any more videos like that, definitely leave a comment down below. Like this video if you enjoy it, and please subscribe to my channel. My goal is to hit 200 subscribers by the end of the month. Follow my Instagram or my FoodStagram. Both are linked down below. My FoodStagram is basically, I'm just taking pictures of different kind of plant-based food ideas you can make at home, or sometimes ones that I find out and about when I eat out.
But let's hop into the video.
So I guess I'll start off by saying I really didn't start drinking alcohol until I went to college. I did go to somewhat of a party school in Washington State. Before that, I had drinking probably only a few times. My senior prom and a party I went to my senior year. So when I was in college, I definitely drank an excess amount of alcohol. I was in a sorority for the first 2 years, and then after that I was 21 and I wasn't in my sorority anymore, but I was still going to bars. And this video isn't about going through mistakes that I may have made, or things I've apologized for when I've had 1 too many drinks, or 3 too many drinks, or 4 too many drinks. It's less about when you have an addiction to alcohol. This is not what this video is about. I started drinking more casually after college. When I moved to Santa Barbara, California, my group of friends were drinking. My work co-workers were drinking. There's definitely a big culture in Santa Barbara for drinking, and in general in a lot of places for people my age there is. A little bit more than a year ago, I really started focusing on my physical and mental health, and I was working with a health coach, and that's when I made some goals for myself, and she really opened my eyes to some of the different areas I needed to look at. She really laid it out for me. I'll link her down below, but working with her for 6 months actually really helped me open up my mind to seeing things that I do want for myself, and looking at different parts of my life and trying to make sure that I am trying to improve them and make them all that they can be. It really was December of 2019 that I was kind of like, not that I'm too old, not that there's a time or place for it, but I turned 24 in December of last year, and I was hungover after drinking for my birthday, and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I need to feel this way? And with quarantine and the pandemic happening, I really had some time to think about what really does make me happy when we are stuck in our homes alone or with a roommate. I was in a studio before this, now I have a roommate, but I was living alone, and I was wondering what really makes me happy and what things do I do because they're supposed to make me happy. In my opinion, alcohol is something that's really been shoved into the media, into our news, into our TV shows, into songs, into advertising about how this is something that needs to be part of your life as a mom. You know, you're on your break and you should be drinking a glass of wine. As someone who is in the corporate world, that after your 9 to 5, you know, you should be hitting happy hour. As a college student, in almost every avenue you could be in your life, alcohol has been incorporated by society as something that you should be doing. And as I was cutting back my drinking in quarantine, because obviously the bar is closed and I lived alone and I do not want to be drinking alone in my studio. I didn't really want to be going to people's houses to drink because you're lowering your inhibitions, you're not paying attention to safety as much, and it's a pandemic. I really started to see a boost in my happiness. And I'll just go over some of the benefits now that I've seen so far. And as you're seeing this video, when it's live, it'll have been 3 months since I completely cut out alcohol, and it's just been amazing. All the benefits I'm going through have been even more apparent when completely cutting out, but even making the decision to lower the amount, maybe you'll see these effects as well. So once again, I'm not an expert on this, but the first thing I want to talk about is mental health. And I am someone who has struggled for a lot of my life with anxiety. Anxiety can be hard to understand how to cope with, understand what triggers it. But as I've taken alcohol out of my life, I've seen a clear lowering in the amount of attacks or the amount of instances where I'm feeling extreme anxiety. In general, alcohol is a depressant, and then hangovers, I would be upset and I'd be anxious even when I, you know, didn't do anything wrong. But in general, there'd be a knot in my stomach, and sometimes it would even develop while I was drinking as the night progressed and I knew that the next morning was going to be rough. Taking alcohol out of my life has boosted my mood and has kind of helped me work on really focusing on what is giving me anxiety, what am I upset about. In the past, when I used to be like, oh, I need a drink, like why would I need to feel that way? What was causing me to feel like I needed to self-medicate or that I needed a pick-me-up? And taking the time to not numb that and actually focus on the core of the issue has really helped me, and I've just had a lot of time to reflect. Physically, I have currently been on a health journey. In the past 2 years, I have lost 40 pounds, and you definitely shouldn't be judging your physical health just off of a lowering of a number on a scale. But for me, it really started because I went on a trip with my family and I was super excited about it, but I didn't have the energy to really fully enjoy it, and it was shocking to me. So recently I have become plant-based, and this December is actually going to be the 1-year mark of being plant-based. But besides that, a big change I made is lowering the amount of alcohol, and then eventually in this past 3 months, cutting it out completely. I feel like I have more energy, which not only plays into what I said before with mental health, but it also plays into my physical health. I feel like I can do what I want to do when I'm working out. I feel like I am a better athlete, but also I have more energy physically in the day. I don't hit slumps, and I just physically feel better. I feel stronger, and my skin is better. Of course, I still have breakouts, and I will say I was not someone who had horrible acne before, but I would notice that there was a correlation between drinking a lot or drinking consistently. If there was a trip where we were drinking every day with my girls, and then having bad skin. Becoming plant-based really was the first step, and alcohol the next, of really understanding that what you put into your body really is supposed to be fuel for you. It is supposed to be stuff that is good for you, and of course that doesn't mean I'm not having my vegan ice cream or, you know, like I'm treating myself, but choosing things that actually make you feel good. The next benefit I found is financial. If you like to drink with your girls, you know that alcohol, unless you're getting all those free drinks, which good for you, girl, is expensive. Alcohol is expensive, whether you're buying it at home and you're pre-gaming or you are drinking out at the bars. It's a very expensive thing to add to your budget. I've been someone who's been budgeting since my senior year of college, and not everyone my age does budget, but looking at how much you are spending each month when you are someone who socially drinks or, you know, like consistently drinks at least once a week, it's a significant amount of money. I'll just put it this way. Say you are someone who only has 3 drinks a night, but consistently have 3 drinks a night when you go out. If you go out once a week and say each drink is like $9, that's 27 times 4. I'm not going to do the math because math is not my strong suit. But 27 times 4, that is how much you need to be budgeting. Nope, I'm not going to do the math. That you need to be budgeting for alcohol each month. So not only are you putting something in your body that doesn't feel good, and that, you know, can affect you physically and mentally, but it costs a lot of money. No bueno. The next category I've really seen benefits in with my removal of alcohol from my life is my drive. With my career, with personal health goals, with hobby goals, with YouTube, which I'm enjoying, I feel like I have more time and more drive to do what I want for myself. I have goals for myself and I want things for myself, and I feel like you probably do too. Whatever it is, like, they may be completely different, but I feel like a lot of us have things that we want to do for ourselves, whether it be family related, career related, adventure related. Alcohol is something that not only, as I said before, takes up money, takes up time, and takes up time a day to days later with hangovers, with lack of motivation, with things like that. It's not something that equates to being driven to reach goals, in my personal opinion. I'm just relating my personal experience. If you feel differently, but these are the reasons why when I started really cutting back on alcohol, decided to just completely cut it out, because these are really big things for me, and this year has been such a year of growth for me. Of course, it has been a crazy time, but having this time to self-reflect and trying to improve myself in a time where I can't do all the activities, adventures, and social things that I would want to do has really made me look at what I'm putting into my body, what I'm choosing to do with my time, and making sure to prioritize things that better me. I definitely will say I do think I had a problem with alcohol, and my problem was how it made me feel. Some people can't stop drinking, and that's more of an addiction. But the thing is, what we're putting into our body when we're drinking alcohol is something that our body is not meant to process. It is something that is poisoning our body, and some people's bodies to handle it different ways. But no matter what, it's a scale, because it is poison. It's not really meant to be in your body. So I'm not telling you to cut it all out, but say that person that you're putting in the category of alcoholic, and that friend you know that becomes a witch with B when she drinks, they both have problems with alcohol. It affects them differently, but that doesn't mean that the one who's addicted is a whole different kind of person. And I do think people who have an addiction should get help, whatever that may be. I'm not a professional. But what I'm saying is that we have this weird mentality that people have to have an addiction to stop drinking alcohol, that people have to be classified as us and them, so that we protect ourselves from questioning, should I be doing this to myself? Should I be putting this in my body? But we're like, oh, blah, blah, blah over there can't handle it. She has a problem. And our society really is putting this drug as something that should be a standard in all avenues of life. Whatever you do, alcohol is publicized as something that should be part of your life. And I think it would be really cool if we were the generation to question that. I know that more and more people in this generation are questioning that, and I'm not saying that people who are drinking are wrong or any of that, but I think we really should be questioning what we are told should be the standard of people our age, or it should be the standard of everyone 21 up. Okay, so part 2, I'm just going to talk about some things that, you know, because whenever you change a habit or something, a lifestyle choice you've been having in your life for years, these are some things that I did to kind of just make the transition easier and to just remind myself why I was doing it. So one thing is to ask yourself what you like about drinking. And for me, what I liked was the socialness of it. Is that a word, socialness? Probably not. And I also liked the activities revolving around it, dancing. Also, I realized I was telling myself that I'm more confident when I drink. So going and addressing all of those, I realized that it wasn't how alcohol made me feel. And all of these things that I was associating with it were things that I could work on myself, and that I was deciding to associate with alcohol. On the social aspect, I would hope that my friends like me the way I am and not when I drink. So in general, it made me reflect on, is there strong foundations in my relationships? I don't want relationships that are founded on us doing drugs together, us drinking together. I want it to be on us being ourselves, and for people who do drink, for drinking being something that you do together, but it's not the foundation of your relationship. So if one of us doesn't drink anymore, it doesn't matter. And going off of that, the activities that you do, whether that be Sunday brunch, whether that be going to the beach, going out dancing, and all of that. What were the things that really made me happy about that? It was my friends. It was choosing cute outfits. It was getting cute pictures, having genuine conversations, meeting new people, and all those things you can do without alcohol. And when it comes to dancing and going out, I love to dance and I'm still going to do it, and right now is not the perfect time for me to demonstrate that considering it's a pandemic, but when I am safely allowed to work it in the clubs again, your girl will be there. She will be drinking her soda water with lime and she will be dancing, and that easily leads me into the confidence. I was saying earlier that I noticed that I was telling myself that I have more confidence when I drink. And as I really sat with that, I didn't like that. Like, I am me. I like who I am. If I want to be more confident and if I want to have more confidence when I'm interacting with people, that's something that I should be working on, and not throwing my cautions by drugging myself, basically self-medicating so that I'm loopy and do whatever without thinking about it. It should be that I work towards being more outgoing, that I work towards being able to go up to people if I want to be that person who can go up and introduce themselves. And I've worked on that. Even during a pandemic, I try to be more friendly with people when I'm checking out, getting groceries and driving through coffee stands. Like, those are things you can work on, and it doesn't have to be tied to alcohol. Basically, I was really seeing that when you sit down and think about what you really like about drinking, it's not drinking. If you're someone who's a wino, you just really love the taste of wine, the taste of this, the taste of that, I guess that's a whole other thing. It's definitely getting darker. Another thing that I did was I started making pretty water. I don't know if you watch Sam Ozkural, I'll link her down below, but she was the one who first got me doing this. And then I also saw someone, her name is BayBayHay, she lives in Las Vegas, and I noticed a lot of her friends would have wine and she'd just have kombucha. I know from what I've seen, she does drink, but a lot of the time she would choose not to and have kombucha instead. I was just like, maybe every now and then I just want something that's not water and kind of to spice it up. And so I tried having like pretty water, which is like water with fruits in it. You can splash lime in it, in a wine glass. And I tried having kombucha in a wine glass, and cute glasses that I got for myself from Target glasses. And I got that same feeling of when I would treat myself with a drink after work. Now I get off work and I'll make myself a cute little drink. I'll take a picture of it. I still get that feeling that I'm treating myself to something that I'm not normally having. And so something I've been doing is when I have the urge to drink, which I haven't really had the urge since the first month when I really cut it off, so like 2 months ago, I ask myself, why am I having this urge? And usually taking that time to understand what you're trying to kind of band-aid is more helpful than actually just getting a drink. So I'll use an example. My roommate had beer and was watching a football game, and I had an urge to have a glass of wine and watch the game with him. And I was like, why do I have to have wine to watch the game with him and have fun? And I sat there and analyzed it a little bit. And I realized that he was treating himself with it, and he has, no problem with alcohol, barely drinks, but I realized I just wanted the social interaction. And I was telling myself that part of having that social interaction was drinking. So I got myself some kombucha and I joined him. And I did just move to Kansas City, so it's even easier for me, and I do completely understand that. After this pandemic and as I build myself up here, I will have the ability to let people know, and so they can decide if they don't want that in their life, that I'm not going to be drinking. And real friends and family are going to support you through whatever decisions that you make for yourself and for your health. True friends and family will support you trying to be a healthier, better self. So that's all I have. Definitely leave any questions or comments down below. I feel like I was really rambling, and I hope this can be beneficial in some way. But I know for me, I've watched a few videos like this, and they were kind of beneficial for me when I first started thinking about, what would my life be like if I just cut this big thing out of my life that I'm told is part of my life as someone in their mid-20s. So I hope this video gives you some courage if you're interested in this, or some hope that, if you want to do this, that it's not that big of a deal, that it could be a big deal for you in your goals. But if you want to do it, you should definitely try it.